good morning. Welcome to a new video with me, Richard Clements. You join me today. I'm doing a calendar event from Tewkesbury called the March Madness, and it's a 200-kilometre event, and I'm basically riding from home. So I've got about a 30k ride to the start, and then I've got a 30k at the end as well. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Well, here we are in Tewkesbury. Got plenty of time. Despite there being a headwind, it was quite surprising. Yeah, so let's crack on. Well, here we go again. Thing right. So I missed February's Audax from here because I was down in Dartmoor. But, yeah, here we are again. It looks like there's a lot of starters today. Lots of people kicking around. And it looks like the river's up a little bit this time as well, compared to what it has been in the past. So today's route takes us up to Bromyard, first control at Bromyard. Then we head south through the Forest of Dean to the Colliery Cafe, and then we climb up out of there up to St Breville's and drop down into Chepstow, across the Severn Bridge, and then back up the Severn Vale. And that's today's route. So without further ado, well, it's surprising how many fields are still flooded. Even just that little bit further south, only by 20 miles, made a big difference. Well, those swans are happy. Anyway, as you can see, we've got the Malverns in the distance. Quite chilly today, surprising. Look forward to it for warming up a bit now. Well, that's the first major hill of the day completed. So this is a British camp, and so this is us crossing the Malvern Hills. You can see the top of the hill there. It's even got its name. Got a bit of a sweat on now coming up there. Pretty popular place for people to come walking and what have you. The top is probably about a quarter of a mile, half a mile I'm on the descent now, and I just thought I'd share this this view with you. You can't quite see it through the trees. There is Worcestershire Beacon, and yeah, so that's the Malvern Hills. Actually, you can see Clee Hill from here today. That's so clear it is. Anyway, we're dropping down roughly to the level where you see the houses down there now. So, let's see more riders. I'll speak to you in a while. So that's Bromyard control number 1 done. It's 65k done. So that's pretty good. Get that over and done with. It's a free control, meaning that I could go anywhere, or we could go anywhere we want. I just went in the co-op and got a few bits and pieces there, a roll, and she sold me a meal deal. But yeah, luckily now we're changing direction and we've got a tailwind for the next sort of third of the ride, so and it's pretty lumpy as well, so the tailwind will be gratefully received. It's surprisingly chilly today. I haven't really warmed up yet, but maybe once the wind is on my back a bit, perhaps it won't feel quite so cold. Anyway, I'll speak to you in a bit. Well, I'm about 8 miles further on now. Just turned off the main road, the Hereford Road from Bromyard. The wind was very favourable along there, and I just stopped here just to that's recording nature. I just think how clear it is today. You can see Hay Bluff over there, and then Sugarloaf over there. Yeah, it's cool. We're heading in that general direction. Well, I just climbed up out of Morderford and the info control. There's a couple of short, sharp pitches, you know. But weather is a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be grey, going by the symbols on the app this morning. Not that I'm complaining. Of course, you can see for miles. It's wonderful. Well, now climbing into the Forest of Dean. Probably about 10 miles from the next control, Hopewell Colliery. Hello, you now join me. I've just come out of the village of Ruadine, which is just down here. And I'm led to believe, and I might be wrong, it's the highest village in the Forest of Dean. No idea if that's true, but it certainly was a bit of a slog up to it. So I'm not too sure that's too far wrong. The reason why I stopped here actually was the view. The view is absolutely magnificent. So you can see. And that down there is looking down to the River Wye and the Wye Valley. We descend partly down, most of it down to there, and then there's a bit of a long drag back up to the next control. I'm now at control number 2, Hopwell Colliery Cafe. As you can see, they bring out the coal. What do you call that tower? A lift? I don't know. And there's so I believe the Dean is quite famous for sort of open cast mining. It's got a name and I can't remember the name of it now. And this would obviously, and you can see the rails. So we bring in and take out the coal. Oh, on these little trolleys. Didn't see those. Anyway, as you can see, the weather is absolutely glorious. Got 20 kilometres now to the Severn Bridge. Unfortunately, quite a lot of that 20 kilometres is uphill. Once we get to St Breville, you know, it's, other than a couple of little pitches, it's downhill all the way down to Chepstow from there. No signs of buds on the trees yet. I suppose that is. Yes, it was quite a bit of a queue to go in, but never mind. I had an hour in hand when I got here, which is not good at halfway. The good thing is that once you've got this climb out of the way, it's pretty flat once you get to the Severn Bridge. Still chilly out when you're out of the sun. Oh, I am wondering if there was a lift, a shaft here at some point, because it's got stones all the way around. I thought it was just something for a bit of show, really, but doesn't look very coal-like to me. But you know, there we are, looking down on the cafe. Well, the beans on toast in the cafe hit the spot. I know it is a tailwind and it is slightly downhill, but even so. I remember coming to these places when I was a kid, with picnics and things. Down here somewhere, I don't remember exactly where we used to go. Family job, you know, all uncles and aunties and cousins. And we'd put all the chairs in a big circle and eat food and have a laugh. And have a paddle in the stream, which was absolutely freezing, even in the summer. Yeah, good times. Just come out through St Breville's for the second of 3 info controls, and I've just come at, this is basically the top now. It's quite a long climb from Park End. You go up through Bream, and you've probably got a good mile and a half of climbing there, and then maybe 2, and then a lane with some quite steep pitches on them, which takes you up to here, St Breville's. I think there's a youth hostel here, or at least there used to be, but I've no idea if it's still here or still open or whatever. But yes, the wind is certainly on my back now, going by the oh, I can't see it from this point. There's a wind turbine, and they're usually quite a good gauge as to the direction of the wind without having to feel it as well, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so this road we've got 7 miles to Chepstow. It's a little bit rolling for the first probably 4, and then it's a lovely long descent down into Chepstow. There's a bit of a pitch out of Chepstow for those that's never been there, which is interesting when you've got Saturday shoppers trying to push past. Anyway, it is what it is, and then we're on to the cycle path across the old Severn Bridge. Obviously it won't be the new one because you're not allowed to cross there on a drag. But yeah, so this is about 2/3 of the ride done, and that's basically the last of the big climbs of the day done. It's just sort of rollers now really, so that's good. Anyway, I'll pick you up in a bit. So now just before the descent down into Chepstow, and it affords you with this wonderful view over to the you've got Oldbury Power Station over there, and then you've got the old decommissioned Barclay one over there, which is the first decommissioned nuclear power station in the UK. And but I can see the tides out because you can see all the sandbars and what have you. It's so clear, I can see Cleeve Hill at Cheltenham. Such a clear day. You can see for miles. Anyway, this is basically the top. I think there's one little pitch to go up, and then it's basically down into Chepstow. There's a bit of a climb, as I said before, in Chepstow, but yeah, that'll be it for the day. And yeah, I just can't believe the visibility today. It's absolutely cracking. We haven't had it for weeks. I can't see any black sheep though. Severn Bridge. The wind is coming from the north. It's quite strong, and yeah, you can actually see the current going out to sea. A glorious day. Again, we can see Oldbury Power Station. Can't see Barclay from this angle, but you can see Sharpness Docks. You can see the Tyndale Monument shining in the sunlight. You know, catch me at Slimbridge. This is actually known as Shepherd's Patch, and the Shepherd's Patch is actually the name of the bridge across the canal. So this is the Sharpness to Gloucester Canal, and this is the final control with a black shed. There's some lovely cake in there and some coffee to get me that final stretch. It's about 32k to go, so it's nearly done now. It's just gone 5 o'clock. Yeah, so it's been quite tough from the Severn Bridge. And I suppose between the Severn Bridge and Tewkesbury we're about halfway now, so you know, from this point on we've broken the back of it. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of people about. Quite popular down here because of the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust. Actually, the building down, you can see, looks a bit like an airport. I suppose it is in a way. It's just birds rather than aircraft. And we've got some and as you can see, the River Severn, and the tide's now in. So in the time it's taken me to get from well, when we were looking down on the Oldbury power station to here, it's come in. It does have the second highest tidal range in the world, and obviously we get a lot of spring tides, so that's where the Severn Bore comes in, and it's actually pretty popular, this spot, to watch it. And this is my commute home. I do a slightly different one to work, but the more direct route, but I take this on the way home. And basically, you know, I've come around the corner here, and I've seen lots of people all sort of stood here looking over, and you know, I've timed it just right as it's come up, and you can actually hear it coming. And it's a bit of a sort of a roar, you know, a bit like waves, you know. Well, I suppose that's what it is, but yeah. And then there's some surfers on there, and you know, the time I've seen them it's been in the dark, and they've had like red lights attached to them. Anyway, now join me back alongside the canal. Just coming into Gloucester, and you can see all the retail parks over there. So this is actually my commute into work. It's a bit of a busman's holiday, really. But, it's actually nice just to have a traffic-free section, and it is a proper surface as well. And like the stretch after Shepherd's Patch, which is not surfaced properly, well, not properly, but you know what I mean. Whereas this is. So makes me wonder how many people look to see it's gone up the canal again and thought, sod that. And they've gone up the road, and they've missed this. The route takes past all the sites. Is Kingsholm Rugby Ground, Gloucester Rugby, with all the lights on. They must have had a match. Doesn't seem very many people in there now, so it must have finished. Well, folks, there's another one ticked off. Back here at Royal Hot Pole in Tewkesbury to finish. And I wish now I'd driven, if I'm honest. But at least there's a tailwind on the way home, so that's the main thing. So I managed to let my head unit go flat. So had to put it on charge whilst I was here. It's currently recovering the ride, so I'm just waiting for that to take place before I carry on. It's gone a bit chilly now. I'm quite tempted to put my rain jacket on, to be honest. Oh, it did rain a little bit towards the end. Not a lot, but you know, sort of spitting. I think I'll still stay down this end of the yard. It's got a bit loud and leery up there, which is fine because everybody's having a good time on a Saturday night. Anyway, it's been a good day out actually. The weather's been really good. It's only the last little sort of 10 miles, probably from Gloucester, where it started spitting and stuff. So that's not bad for March. Folks, I'm about a mile from home now. Not really a lot happened between Tewkesbury and here, other than it was a pretty strong tailwind, so I just cruised along all the way back. Yeah, I kind of retraced the last sort of 16k of the official route, and I saw about 8 people finishing. Yeah, so today is just probably about 30k under a 300k ride, so fairly confident next weekend. I'm not going that well at the minute, to be honest. I know what that is, so I'm not too concerned about it. You know, it's not a health issue or anything like that, so just a lot on at work at the minute, and I'm just tired all the time. So you know, when you're tired to begin with, you're not going to go well, are you, really? Yeah, so as I said, you know, I'm about a mile from home. You know, it's been a cracking day. I mean, it has rained, but only at the end, if you know what I mean. I mean, the roads are wet now, and it was drizzling just now, but you know, that's just the way it goes. So yeah, got the 300 from Bristol next weekend. That goes down to Portland Bill, so looking forward to that. Yeah, it's been really good. I really enjoyed today. Going back to today, really enjoyed it. It's a good route, but the wind was in the wrong direction. It's not very often you get a northerly, and so all the climbing is quite front loaded. So you know, coming from Bromyard back down to Chepstow, got all the climbing there, or most of it, and basically, you know, because of the trees and the forest dune and that kind of thing, you don't really benefit from the tailwind, you know. And then you get to Severn Bridge and you start coming north, and all you've got is a headwind. So you know, it made it really hard today, and I'm feeling it a bit now. Anyway, I will speak to you on the next one. Thank you for joining me today, and if you've made it this far, thanks very much.